Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Eddie Marcus here again, and I am back. Couldn't stay away any longer. My focus on all of the speeches that I make to you, ladies and gentlemen, when you really consider it, what am I trying to do? My hope and wish is that I say something that would aid in your conversion. Your conversion, yes? Converting your way of thinking about life and your commitment to life and dedication. Changing it, making it something positive, making it something beautiful. Especially, I do this, ladies and gentlemen, as spokesman and advocate of basic human rights. When I think about all of the wars that have been fought and the number of people that have died in pursuit of this way of life that we have all been caught in and bound to for all of our lives. We talk about the millions of people that died, soldiers, Americans that died in Vietnam, and even those that were killed in Vietnam. All of the lives that were lost for what we have always given up our lives for: money and power and prestige. I think about it, and you think about, and I say this about America, but I want you to know there is no nation, as far as I know, that's innocent, especially those that got some money. Especially those that are, kind of big and want to be bigger. They're the ruthless ones. I was thinking that as I was growing up, I used to watch television a lot. And I would watch how the West was won. They had all of these cowboy pictures and Indians, they had the soldiers. And they were out doing the work of taking land, spreading it to themselves. But even in that process, it was about money. You heard about gold in the caves and in those mountains. These guys wanted this gold. And they would do stuff to get gold, not necessarily gold, but money still. They would sell guns, buy guns, and sell guns to the highest bidder, even sell guns to the Indians for some of that gold, knowing that they were going to be shooting white people. It wasn't that they were, biased. They just wanted the money. And if you want to kill some white folks and you got some money, give us the money. I think about that when I see these guys out there in my mind. I see John Wayne and Ronald Reagan, those guys playing those westerns out there with those kinds of guns and killing people and saying they're trying to protect and trying to get those guys who are selling guns to both sides. And I'm reminded of what's going on in America today, with the rifles and the guns. The same old thing going on with the guns. They got to have the money. The money. Yes, people want guns because people are evil. They're filled with race, and there are people filled with greed. Got to have that money. Money, money, money. And that's the way of the world. So, I was also ripping through that page, and I saw Michael Moore talking about the Republican presidents since the 60s. He even thought about Eisenhower, but he really started with the 60s with Richard Nixon. Kennedy beating him. But anyway, the whole thing went down, and the way he listed it, he got it on some of his programs called Epison, number 286. I guess that's right, Michael Moore's. And he thought about these presidents and how treasonous they all were. And he, on the program, he mentioned the treasonous acts that they committed. He used the people like from Nixon to Ford and Reagan and H.W. Bush, W. Bush, Trump, all traitors, based upon how they violated the rules and the disrespect for the American people and the actions that they took had nothing to do with the oath that they had taken. And I don't know. I'm just stating what somebody else is satisfied with, and I know if it's real, and I can't see any reason why it wouldn't be real with all the stuff that's happening here today. But I see that people are continuously exposing themselves to their history. It's following them. People's history is following them. They were evil back in the day, and they are evil today. When you start thinking about Billy Graham, you think he would help the American people. You think he did something for America, people telling people about God. What good did that God that Billy Graham was telling America about, what good was it for America? I mean, some people may say, it did something good. And what are all about the other rest of the guys? Just be honest. Norman Vincent Peale, the positive talker. Be positive. Everything gonna be all right. Swagger. God. Jim Baker. You name them. Talking about God. And the world ain't never got better. It just kept going bad. Kept going bad. Now here we are today with a Trumper. And this joker is something else. Somebody say, well, nobody has ever been able to do it like this. It's because Trump is the one that has passed the test to get here. Don't think that Trump is walking around. I told you. Don't think that Trump is walking around here decided that he's going to be king. No, he did say, now that's on his mind being king. But he's lifted up by those who want a king just like that. Just like these other dudes. The only thing that matters is what the power wants. And you already know that Trump would do anything to hang with those who got power. But ladies and gentlemen, we all know that. And I spent the past, 7 minutes talking about that. That's not the solution. We all are familiar with that. The solution is getting rid of that and creating a new, where, when the hurricanes, they say they are all over, and storms all over, tornadoes all over the country now. I mean, you might have them in maybe 5 or 6 in one community, it seems. Going through Alabama, Mississippi, Virginia, all over the place. And they're wiping places down, wiping them out. I don't care what you had. When you come on that junk that you were buried under, you look around, you say, where is everything? Where is it? And it's wiped out. And in order to maintain this or to come back, you got to build. You got to rebuild. You got to get busy. You got to be thinking. You got to use your hands and your minds. You got to get active. I need. What is it going to take? It's going to take material and a commitment. It's going to take labor. But the way we do labor right now, ladies and gentlemen, it's going to be all kinds of problems. The way the system is set up, it'll be all kinds of problems. But there is a way, and that's the better way of life. When I talked about converting people, I'm talking about people who says enough is enough. They know that if you are a white man, it doesn't make any difference. That's insufficient. If you're a black man, that's not enough. You're insufficient. If you're just a man, regardless, that's not enough. That's insufficient. If you're a woman, black, white, or other, how smart you might be or how ignorant you might be, either way, it's not enough. You might be born here or come here. It doesn't matter. None of that is enough. What it's going to take, my friend, is a conversion. It's going to take a conversion from the date that you were born to the moment that you start considering. And yes, it is a consideration. It's nothing going to come over you and slap you, and all of a sudden you can say you born again, slap you, and you say the Holy Spirit hit you. No. It's going to be you making a decision after thinking and contemplating that yes, enough is enough. And it's not good enough, say for an example, if you were a Republican and some of your Republican associates got more than you wanted to be identified with. It's not good enough for you to say, well, I'm going to become a Democrat or something else. That's not good enough. What we're talking about something, my friends, is the kind of person, individual, group, nation that you have never been. We're talking about being the best. You see, yes, the Republicans do their thing. Democrats is not the solution. They are not good enough. Do you know that when you got a Republican president, poverty, pain, and suffering is all over this nation? Do you know when we got a Democratic president, poverty and pain and suffering is all over this nation? Yes, we've always had men. But do you think it would be different if they had a woman president? They can't even control their bodies. They let men tell them how to do their bodies. So what's there? You got to be changed. And what kind of change am I speaking of that will give you the audacity to stand up against the laws of any nation? Hey, that's the power that created you. That's all. The power that created you. I promise you. As big as your spirit is, as big as your will is, oh, you ain't seen nothing. Now, that doesn't mean that the danger will dissipate, that you won't have to endure that. Y'all, my friends, you got an enemy out here. This world out here are not thinking about changing.